Your girl Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Drama Like Prison Wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping to see justice before all face to black. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. So we gonna listen to, I don't know, let's pick Shantia Deja today. And I'm just gonna finish working on this. I have to paint in the black, all the black. Let's see if you can tell. I don't know, from that angle you can't really see it. There you go. You see how the black part I painted black because the board is like ashy black. So I'm gonna finish that in, and we're just gonna listen to Shantia Deja girl, I guess, while we do this. Okay. And Shantia Deja, she's the one with any day now, any day now, any day now, any day now. Yeah, I done made a whole jam out of that. But let's listen to her and go ahead and paint, girl. Oh,
We've known each other
skip
a
the
long time.
ads.
When was the last time you
Come
had a
on.
man, Elise? Sometime.
Long
What's
time
up,
ago.
y'all? It's
20
your girl
years.
Shantia, and I'm back with
Another
another
banger, another
word.
word.
Okay, now listen, y'all. I got
Let
a
me
word
let
for
it
y'all today.
down a
But
little
first,
bit.
I just want to say that tickets to the First Class Summit, my conference in Atlanta, Georgia, virtual tickets are still on
I
sale.
wanted
So
to
make sure
go.
y'all go get y'all tickets. Make sure that you're
I
in the
didn't have no
building.
money
You
though.
don't want to miss it. God is
I
moving in
didn't
this
want to miss
season,
it.
child. Listen. Also, for those that have yet to purchase my ebook, you can
This
go
is
to
a little tall for
atruediamond.com
me.
and get my ebook. It's
Can't
called A
sit
Love
up there.
Within Workbook. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that I link all this down below. But listen, y'all. So I got a word for y'all today, and I really didn't know the title of this word, but I'm gonna just go with you will bear much fruit. Okay, you will bear much fruit. And so, actually, let me read the scripture. Okay. And so God led me to John 15 verse 5, where it says, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Okay. And so when I was thinking about that scripture and just thinking about, God saying, if you remain in me, you will bear much fruit. But apart from me, you can do nothing, okay? And so in this season, God is saying you're going to have to remain in me in order to see it come to pass. God is saying you're going to have to continue to push forward in order to see it come to pass. And a lot of y'all might be on the other side of the wall. A lot of y'all might be exactly leaning up against the thing that God is trying to tear down. And in this season, you're going to have to look the devil in his face. In this season, you're going to have to look your problem in his face and know that God is on your side, and step boldly and face the problems and the circumstances and the situations in your life in order to take hold from it so that the walls can come down and you can cross over to the other side. Listen, child. Anyways, that wasn't even in my notes. But anyways, y'all, so when I was thinking about you will bear much fruit, okay? I also was just thinking about obedience. And so I know I did a video talking about true obedience is success, but I think what a lot of people don't realize is that when you remain in God and you begin to stay consistent and obedient, you have no idea how God is using you. Obedience is not just about you listening to God, but it's whatever God is trying to do through you in order to get through to another person, or in order to break a generational curse, or in order to help somebody. You have no idea the ways that God is using you through your obedience, okay? And so listen, child, for those that don't know, this past week I had a speaking engagement at an HBCU. It was absolutely beautiful, absolutely phenomenal. Okay, I was so excited, and I went straight from the speaking engagement to go visit a friend. Okay, and long story short, y'all, I had just met this girl, but it was nothing but a divine connection from God. And while I had went to the city, I had went to go see my sister. Okay, and a lot of y'all don't know my sister. Anyway, so long story short, my sister is right now incarcerated. Okay, and I haven't seen her in some years. And about a year ago, or not even a year ago, a couple months ago, I had found out that she was incarcerated, okay? And for some reason, it just wasn't sitting on my spirit. And one thing that I don't like is, like, if I'm out here helping millions of people and helping people up.
Yeah, so she might be into Project Reach the World. You know, everybody don't understand Project Reach the World. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be painting. I'll leave her a comment later on this video. She might be interested, girl. You never know. See, everybody got somebody that they love that's incarcerated. That's why we all should care.
All over the world, there's no reason why I shouldn't be helping, my family or my siblings and stuff. And so I'm a very overprotective person. I love my siblings. I'm the oldest out of all of my siblings on my mama's side and my daddy's side. But anyways, y'all, so, and this is my only sister. And so, anyways, I had went to go see her, right? And so it was a surprise visit because we haven't talked in years, but it was just sitting on my spirit where I just had to go, see her because God asked me to. And so while I was there, y'all, I was clearly on assignment. God was using me when I went there to go see her. Nobody, not a friend, not a family member, nobody has yet come to see her since she been in there. Now, can you imagine,
girl,
when you're in a seat?
What did I tell y'all? Out of sight, out of mind, like straight off the bat. As soon y'all know today is the exact 21st anniversary of Marcello taking that long ride. And the minute that he went to court and lost his trial, his mother didn't even come to his trial. Not even his mother came to trial. Nobody, not one family member came to his trial. Me. And money would have been there, but they didn't allow babies in the courtroom. But nobody came to see him. Every now and then, his family, which would be his mother and brother, would make random visits, but this was like maybe once, twice, possibly 3 times a year. But the person that basically held him down since day one and did not jump ship is myself. And it's so sad because he had all these family members before he went to prison. And it's like they quickly forget about you. Oh, you lost trial, okay. Out of sight, out of mind. I get it, but God, dog, that's heartbreaking. But let's listen. And I gotta clean this paint off the wall there before my dad comes home. Girl.
When you're in the season, if some of y'all are in mind prisons, okay? Some of y'all are in prisons in this world, okay? Maybe it's the prison of depression, maybe it's the prison of heartbreak, wherever your prison is in this season, okay? Can you imagine being in that prison and you're by yourself and nobody is checking up on you?
Yes,
I know
I
a lot of y'all have the testimony, okay, where you're alone and nobody seems to be checking up on you, but I just want you to know that God is checking up on you. I just want you to know that somebody is about to come to you and speak for it, and it may be somebody that you least expect, and it may be somebody that you haven't talked to for years, but it was all confirmation that God cares about you. And God cared about my sister. And we never even had a relationship, but God still used me in that moment in order to get through her. And I said, God, I will go, I will be the one. And it literally brought tears to my eyes when I went there, and she was so excited and so elated to see me. But it brought tears to my eyes to know that she's been sitting there all alone. And nobody has come to see her. But yet her face was shining bright like a diamond, child. Listen. And so anyways, I began talking to her, ministering to her, just giving her life and love. She's been telling me how she's been staying in God's presence and, reading her word and learning the lessons and, just doing all of the things that she needs to do. And one thing that she said is she said, whenever I get out of here, I'm going to work on becoming a new woman, or basically, like, how you say, like, okay, once I get to a certain level or a certain place or out of this mess or whatever, is when I'm going to start doing the work. And my exact words to her was, no, you got to start while you're in the prison. You have to start while you're in the darkness, because even though you're in a prison, you can still bear much fruit. And that's why God led me to that scripture to say, if you remain in me, you will bear much fruit. It doesn't matter the season that you're in. It doesn't matter the darkness that you're in. It doesn't matter the darkness darkness that you're surrounded by. God said, if you remain in me, you can still bear much fruit. If you remain in me, you can still birth purpose. If you remain in me, you can still change your entire environment around. And so I encourage her to change the entire environment around. Just because you're in a prison doesn't mean that you're in a prison. Physically, you might be in a prison, but mentally you're free. But spiritually, you're free. Listen, child. And so I was talking to her, and it brought tears to my eyes, not only for her, but just my obedience. Because who would have known that I will be the first person that she gets to see, and we haven't spoken, nor have we ever had a close relationship my entire life. And that's why you got to be obedient in this season, and you have to remain in God, and you have to listen to God, and you have to take heed to the things that he's asking you to do, because you have no idea how he's using you. You have no idea how you're the one that is going to be sent back. You have no idea the things that God is doing through you. And so in this season, God is saying you have to remain in me. You have to continue praying. You have to continue seeking. You have to continue sacrificing, because on the other side of this, there's greatness. On the other side of this, lives are being saved. On the other side of this, chains are being broken.
Break every chain.
Listen, child.
Don't listen, child, not to these ads.
And not only that, was I planting seeds in her, but I was also planting seeds in the people that I was meeting, that was surrounding me, in the city that I was in. I'm thinking I'm going there to have a good time, to get a break. But God said, no. You're going to have a good time. You're going to get a break. But I also need you to bear fruit. I also need you to do something that you've never done before. God said, I also need you to step out your comfort zone and go into places and spaces that look foreign, that are unknown to you. Because there's something that I'm trying to do. My God. God said, I'm shaking up the chains. God said, I'm shaking up the environment. God said, I'm shaking up certain environments and cities in this season where the devil can no longer have access to.
Thank you.
Listen, child. Listen. You got to get curious about the chains that you're bound to. Don't just focus on what you're bound to, but you have to ask God, what is this principality? What is this thing that is holding me back? And the situation that she's in is a generational curse. And the situation that she's in is not the first situation that has happened in my family. And the situation that she's in, I said, God, if you could do it for one, you could do it for another. God, if you could do it for me, you could do it for her.
Yes.
God has grace for that.
If you can do it
God
for
has
her,
grace
you can
for
do it
that.
for me.
Listen, child. I don't know who I'm talking to. It's hot. Summer is here, okay? I don't know who I'm talking to, but the thing that I had wrote down was, you have to do something you've never done before in this season. You're going to have to do something you've never done before in this season. It's going to be scary. It's going to be nervous. The enemy is going to try to count you out. He's going to try to come into your mind. The negative thoughts are going to try to creep up to tell you that you're not worthy, to tell you that you don't belong here. But the simple fact that God placed it in your spirit to go there, the simple fact that God placed it in your spirit to create it, the simple fact that God placed it in your spirit to give you that idea, to birth something new in this season, is all the confirmation that you need in this season, because you know that you yourself could have never and would have never even thought about doing something like that. You yourself would have known that you never even would have had.
Let me tell you, there would be no Project Reach the World if Marcello was not wrongfully convicted. I probably wouldn't even be painting like that girl, to be honest, because I picked up a paintbrush when I realized my husband was gone, and I had to do something. Like, girl, I hadn't painted, hadn't did art, show wasn't doing no poetry, and never would have been a rapper if it wasn't for that situation, honestly.
The capacity to think an idea like that, but because God gave it to you, God said, I need you to birth forth. God said, I need you to push in this season. I need you to pull it out on this season, because what's on the other side of this wall, my God, when I was speaking to my sister on the wall, oh my Jesus, when I was speaking to my sister through the wall, through the glass wall, I was looking at her, And all I saw was the light that was in her. But the thing that kept hitting my spirit was what was on the other side of this wall. And currently she was in a prison, my God, physically. But listen, on the other side of the wall, it was freedom. It was me that she was looking at. I was looking at a reflection of me, because I remember being in the prison of attempted suicide. I remember being in the prison of anxiety. I remember being in the prison of heartbreak. I remember
I
being in the
still
prison
in
of
all them
poverty. I
prisons.
remember being in the prison of lack. I remember being in the
Yeah,
prison of
still
thinking
there.
that I wasn't good enough. And everybody's
Still there.
prisons look different. But the fact that I showed up to show her that there was something on the other side of that wall, my God, was the only confirmation that she needed. It was the hope that she needed to hold on just a little bit longer, to know that this is temporary. God set you down to get your attention. God set you down in this season to get your attention.
My hand's finna be gone to bed, because as soon as I'm done, I am finna leave her the longest message, comment on this video, how this video really touched me. And girl, she could be one that would be I don't even know what that big word is I'm trying to put there, but she might be the one open to Project Restore. A lot of people are closed and closed-minded to Project Reach the World because of the reason I'm doing it. For those who are being mistreated behind bars, and those who are wrongfully convicted and excessively sentenced. An excessive sentence could mean that yes, you still committed a crime, but you're being more harshly punished than you should be. That still is wrongful. It would be like punishing your child forever and a day for missing curfew. That's an excessive punishment. Yes, your child missed curfew, but girl, you ain't gonna never forget your child and let them be back part of your family. But a lot of people, most people are closed to prison situations because they take on the mindset of holier than thou. They shouldn't have did what they did, so they deserve whatever punishment they get. Which you have people on the other side giving out these punishments that are very much evil, and they play on the fact that most good Americans, most good citizens believe that you should pay for your debt to society. So they take that and be like, okay, so I'm gonna push the debt to this. That's like if you owed on a loan 1,000, and people felt like because you owe that 1,000, I'm gonna make you pay $20,000 back. And everybody be like, yeah, because you shouldn't have never owed that 1,000. Yeah, make them pay 20,000. They shouldn't have never owed that 1,000. Like, it's a balance between crime and punishment. But most people take that holier than thou. It wouldn't have never been me, and I wouldn't have never. You don't know what you would do, girl, if you in that situation. And a lot of people end up wrongfully incarcerated. And I know we don't want to admit this. We don't want to admit that our system is flawed and it has innocent people in prison, because that is a very, that's something very hard to take accountability for. And it's partly all of our faults, because we left the justice system up to people and never overseen that they were doing the right thing. And we don't care if they're doing the right thing, because that's for those criminals, right? And they're those criminals' families. So we don't care what happens to them. They're the throwaways of society. But I know not everybody is going to care. But because possibly she does have a loved one that is incarcerated, and she can see that, hey, my sister is not the worst of the worst of the worst. Like, yes, she has done something wrong. And Shantia also says herself that she have done things wrong. Girl, it's just for the grace of God, she wasn't, she didn't end up there. But she could have ended up there. Y'all know I got that song, It Could Have Been Me. It could have been me. I could have been dead and gone. But Lord, you allowed me to breathe another day. You allowed me to carry on. It could have been me with no food to eat and no shoes upon my feet. And if it wasn't for your grace, then Lord, it could have been, it would have been me every morning. I gotta give God thanks for a new day. It's a lot of my homies that was here yesterday. They not here today. So I gotta be thankful. Thank God that I'm still here. No matter what situations I face, only thing that matters is I'm still here. I made it 40 plus years. And that's so much to thank God for. Cause it's a lot of folks out there, they might not make it past 21. Because the popos is kidding us. And on top of that, we keep killing ourselves. And if we don't end up dead, then we end up doing 20 to life in jail. See, that's another life wasted. Another life gone down the drain. And you never know, that life, it could have had the cure to AIDS. We living in the last days. And if we not, well then we're really mighty close. Because nowadays, it seems like everything's alright, now anything goes. Hey, what if it were you? And you were up the road and gone. For some, you didn't do. And it'd be decades before you get back home. Hey, what if it were you that was taken from your kid? Now your life, now they life, well, both of them. Now they life, you missed it. Your lucky stars, you better thank them that you ain't in this wicked system. Cause Lord knows that it could have been, yeah, it could have been you. Could have been any of us, girl, but for the grace of God. It's the other person and not you. And it's the other person and not me. But it could have been any of us. So let's stop passing judgment and help each other out. Like, girl.
He said, I had to sit you down so that I can recreate you, so that I can show you who I created you to be from the inside out. And so you can't get distracted by your environment. Because the only environment that matters is the environment that you create between you and God. The only thing that matters is the atmosphere that you set between you and God. And so God said, in this season, if you just remain in me, you will bear much fruit. No matter what your circumstances, no matter what your environment is, no matter what problem you're facing.
And I don't know if I told y'all, but today marks 21 years ago, right about now. I think it was about 4 o'clock. I think around 3 o'clock. Yep. So we would have been in jury deliberation just about. And around 4 something, like 30 minutes later, they came back with them questions. And around 4 something, they were coming back with guilty in the highest in my husband's case. Today, around 4 something p.m. So we almost down to the minute where his wrongful conviction started. 21 years ago, he was sitting before an unjust judge. 21 years ago. And I vowed that day that I was going to fight. This was a mistake. We gonna get him home. And baby, it's been 21 years and he still ain't no ways home. He still got to 2039. Wow. Of his wrongful conviction.
Listen, no matter what darkness you're looking at, no matter what it is that's standing in front of you, God said, if you remain in me, you will bear much fruit. And so listen, child, I just want to prophesy over somebody that this is the season where you're going to reap what you've sown, that this is the season where it's all going to make sense, that this is the season where you're going to bear much fruit, that this is the season where God said it's going to come to pass in a way that you've never expected.
I don't expect it. No.
Listen, child.
So it's going to be in a way I don't expect.
I don't know who this word was for. But I pray that it encourages you to remain in God and to continue being obedient. Obedience always doesn't feel good, but there's a purpose behind your obedience. You don't know who you're helping. You don't know who is dealing with what. And so God said in this season, I just need you to listen to me. Because it's bigger than what you can see.
Is that how it ended? Hold on. That was the end? It ended abruptly, Chantel. But anyways, yes, that was a good word. Miss Shantia Deja, I love her. She is very inspirational. Her story is that her story is similar somewhat to mine. She found herself basically, she finished college. I think it was some type of high level of college. And she was in, I think, the fashion world. She had got her degree. She was doing good. She moved to a different city. And then, boom, 2020 hit. And everything that she went to school for basically looked like it was shattered because basically they weren't looking for those type of job to fill those type of jobs. It was only the oops, dang it. I keep getting this paint every which way. I done painted on my mama picture now. My mama done had that picture forever and a day. Girl, I'm a little messy artist. Ugh. I remember that time I was painting at my cousin's house and dropped that paint all down his carpet. Uh-oh. Ooh. That is canvas. That's not gonna come off. Oh, come on now. Hold on, y'all. Really? How the heck I get way up? Well, I am legally blind, but I usually don't paint all over the place like that. Okay. My mama passed away, but my daddy would have a fit. He see this darn thing on her painting. Come on, it gotta come out. This is only acrylic paint, and acrylic paint ain't permanent until it dries. Come on now. Oh, yeah, I can really, I don't even know what I need to do. I know I don't need to be painting up with nobody. But, okay, let's go get a towel. That ain't working, girl. That ain't working. Girl, I don't even know what we were talking about because I'm trying to hurry up and get this out before my dad come home. Girl, I really don't know what we were talking about. We were talking about something. I thought that was part of the frame. This is part of the canvas. That's crazy. The frame is on the outside. So it's like a lifted canvas, which I've never seen those. I think I about got it. Girl, I don't know what we were talking about because I got sidetracked. I'm painting all up the wall. Now throwing paint on the artwork. I think I got it. I see it a little bit. Yeah, acrylic ain't supposed to be permanent till it's dry. Y'all can see it? Girl, don't tell nobody. Be like, what's his name on Friday? Smoke it back here, smoke it! I ain't gonna tell nobody else. So girl, don't y'all tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. Ain't nobody gonna know, just everybody that was on live, which is nobody, right? I could barely see it. I could see it, but barely. So, I don't know what we were talking about, girl, but yeah. Oh, Shantia Deja, I was telling y'all her background. Okay, So it was that 2020 mark where she had to went to school and all of that, and her life was, the dreams that she's seen, being on the cusp of graduating. I was on the cusp of graduating in 2020 as well, and I felt like finally my life was going to change. My life has always been crazy, like even childhood. My childhood was crazy. My young adulthood and 20s, when everybody is enjoying their life, I was in the fight of my goddamn life in my 20s and 21. Well, 20 was good because that's when I was pregnant with money, had money, love of my life, about to get married. So by 21, that's when my life was flipped upside down. So since 21, like my life, I've basically been trying to get on track. I've been trying to, get better so that I can afford more for me and my daughter, and, afford the right legal assistance and stuff. Like, because poor people get screwed through the system. The system is not for poor people. The system is to prosecute poor people. And most of them are getting prosecuted just because they are poor. A lot of them. Richer people are not falling into the same traps as a poor person. They prey on the poor in the justice system. So I always wanted to, because we wouldn't have had no public defender if Marcello wasn't poor. Like, but in Marcello's case, the public defender probably would have done more for him than this crime specialist did. This crime specialist had other alternatives. And I think, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I believe the reason why that crime specialist went out of town to get those two that ran away, that didn't want nothing to do with this, because this was not a carjacking, kidnapping, or armed robbery. It wasn't that. It wasn't that. These dudes was going, they was trying to get right, and then it was a club night. It was a dance about to happen, and they just wanted to be in a certain mood for that dance. And before they could get right, they got pulled over by the police officer. It was a close call. So beyond that, they was like, we don't really, we got out of, direct danger ourselves. So we don't want to be, in this to prosecute somebody else, because that ain't even what it was. But I believe his crime specialist, if he did not have a crime specialist and he had a regular public defender, first of all, most public defenders' offices do not have money. So they ain't got no money to be going out of town to subpoena nobody to nothing. Like they don't have funds hardly to do the cases that they have. But I also, as we were reading the transcript, when the judge had called the state lawyer and Marcello's public defender, acting public defender up, and they was asking her about this case, this Henderson case. And she said that she dropped it because she was overwhelmed, like she was swamped. I think that's the phrase she used, but we can always go back to the transcript. And I believe as a favor to her, Marcello's own lawyer went out of town to subpoena those guys. Because why in the world, it makes no sense that the defense lawyer, if it's not in the defense's best interest to go subpoena them to court, why would the defense do that? That would have been the role of the state's lawyer, because the state is the one that wants to secure the conviction. Why would the defense lawyer want to, secure the conviction? That doesn't make sense. That's like you wanting to lose. And that's like you working against your client. But I believe because he was a specialist and he was not necessarily a public defender, he's a guy that had to step in, because the driver that they alleged got away, that didn't really get away, he was already being represented by the public defender's office. So because of that, they could not represent Marcello. So if he didn't have that crime specialist, I really don't think that Marcello would have been convicted, because a regular public defender ain't going through all that. They ain't even got the funds to go through all that. But yeah, the system is not for poor people. I believe that was probably one of his old buddies, that state lawyer, and by him being a private attorney, he did a little favor for his friend. Look, I'll go out of town. Don't worry, we're gonna secure this conviction. I tried to get him to take the plea. He's not willing to plead, so unfortunately, I'm gonna have to, he's gonna have to go down. I warned him. I told him he needed to take this plea. He really thought that I was gonna defend him without getting paid for free. My services cost. And he actually brought that up. He said that. He said, don't think that you would have got a better defense if you had paid me. I did the best I could, whether you paid me or not. Well, if you did the best you could, if you had did nothing, Marcello would have been free. Like, all you had to do was the case was over because they did not come to court. It was over and done. You didn't have to go out of town to subpoena them. Court date had came and they chose not to come. They ignored all them subpoenas. So what you mean you couldn't have did more? You could have did less. You did do more. You did more to secure that conviction. When that wasn't even that's like if you plan on a team, let's take it back to the 90s, the Bulls against the Magic. That's when I used to actually be into basketball. Girl, when they had Jordan, then they had Shaq, and they had Lil Penny, that was what's his name? Anthony Hardaway. That's his name? Yeah, Lil Penny. When they had all them dudes on there. Now, let's say Shaq was actually, he's on the Magic, right? He's on the Magic team. But he's up there helping Jordan score points. How would that look? You'd be like, oh, hold on, why is you on the Magic? Why is you up there helping the Bulls? Why are you helping them? And you play dumb and be like, yeah, I am on the Magic, but I just figured I would, behind the scenes, you study trying to help them out. That's exactly what was happening in Marcello's case. The defense lawyer was acting like he was playing for the Magic. He had on a Magic jersey, but he was actually helping the state lawyer, which is the Bulls, score points. That's what was happening. So it's like you actually have two prosecuting attorneys and you don't really have a defense. That's what it's really like. But yeah, so after I finish this part here, all this black, I'm finna go, I'm still getting paint on this painting. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to move from right here because they finna be upset because I am really rearranging that painting by putting all this black on there. But later, when I go live, I will be working on our granddaughter's stuff for her birthday party, her decorations. Is that old? Yeah. I done got all this black all over this painting. We done have this painting forever. I hope I don't rub the paint off, or we'll be trying to fix this painting. But yeah, so I'm gonna finish this, then I'm gonna go leave Miss Shantia Deja the longest comment about how that video just, touched my soul, girl. I love it. Very inspirational. But just like she said in that video, she was like, her sister is there in prison. And she was saying how other people are in their own prisons and stuff like that. You could be in a prison of depression which I've been in all those prisons just by, behind this situation, behind being a prison wife to a wrongfully convicted man. Like it puts you in your own prison. It's like the minute he went to prison, I went too, girl. And I sure ain't did nothing wrong. I'm sure wrongfully convicted. I had nothing to do with this whatsoever. But I went into my own prison of depression, prison of anxiety, prison of now the future that we hope for is now gone, prison of wanting a family, prison of having to view others with their families, and you just can't have yours. You just want nothing more than to be with your family. Girl, I work at a theme park. You know how many families I see on a daily basis all together. Now I got paint. I'm being real messy with this paint. Paint is all up my arm. This is just not. I think it's too high. I usually paint like to a chair or something, but I'm at a bar table and it's too high. So I can barely see it. You know I'm a legally blind artist. So my vision is quite blurry. So I'm not painting directly how I should. But yeah, I work at a theme park and all day. And what really gets me, what really, really, really breaks me down is when I see a father with their daughter. Girl, that really puts me in a very sad mood, which I'm happy for them. You learn that you cannot be, upset that others have what you don't have. But it always begs the question of, I had this and somebody took it, from us. We could have had this if there were a such thing as justice. But yeah, that used to be hard. Or up in the grocery shopping. Girl, when I see families grocery shopping, that breaks me down because it's like I wanted nothing more. I wanted a simple darn life. Just wanted my husband, a couple kids. I wanted 5 of them, girl, but that's too late. It's too late for that now. That's gone. Those desires because, he's been gone forever unless he gets out the day after tomorrow. It's too late for all that. But we do have our granddaughter. I would desire for him to get out. Already she's turning 1. So he's about to miss her life as well as already missing his daughter's life. But I would just hope that he could just come on home so we could be grandparents together at least. But yeah, those prisons, whether they mental prisons or actual prisons, the actual prisons play us both. They're prisons and they're mental prisons. And the only way to really get through being in actual prison, you gotta strengthen yourself mentally. You gotta develop yourself mentally. They are not going to rehabilitate because that is not that's what prisons should be for, rehabilitation, but prisons have not become, they're not that. They're not there to rehabilitate. They're there because it's a source of money now. They actually want recidivism. They want you to come back so we can keep the money train going. They want people to be going to prison and stuff. That's money. These apps, you know how much money these apps making off the family? Just keeping in touch with their loved ones? They making a hand over fist. Just lately, we done went from Securus. I don't know if it was this year or last year. We went from Securus with the phones, right? That was probably last year or the year before. I don't know. I don't know. All the years are going together. Then we went to GTL. GTL offered 30-minute phone calls. But guess what? You paying for them 30 minutes. So basically, we could have did 30 minutes through Securus. You just have to call back, twice. Through Securus, you could call back to back. But with GTL, they don't allow the back to back. So I guess it kind of forced you to go ahead and take that 30-minute call, which you pay more. You pay for that 30-minute call. It's not like you're getting more time for less money. So now where you would rather, like, it's like a psychological game. We used to get by on talking 15 minutes here and there. And once they gave us that 30 minutes that we do pay for, we just now on a regular basis talk for 30 minutes. So if they ever upped it to 45 minutes, we will be talking 45 minutes most likely each time. So they're playing games like psychologically, knowing that we're going to pay it because that's our loved one. Once you take someone's loved one, you're going to get paid whatever amount. It don't even matter. Like I said, if they put my husband on the moon, I'd be like, girl, where you going to get your spacesuit? How you finna get the visitation on the moon, girl? Can I catch a ride with you? I would be up there trying to figure it out. And they know that. They know that. So they making money hand over fist off of this mass incarceration, rather than trying to fix the issues that led to mass incarceration. They're trying to figure out how to bank off of mass incarceration. So anyways, we went from Securus to GTL. Did I get some? I got some more paint up on there. I'm gonna have to, girl, my dad painted finna be messed all the way up. Study fooling with this. But so we went from Securus to GTL. Then we were in JPay. JPay had took over a lot. Like, you used to could just drop a money order. You didn't have to pay to send your loved one money on their books. But eventually they got rid of that because they ain't want no free ways to be sending nothing. So JPay has started taking over. And I do remember back in the day when everyone noticed that JPay was taking everything over, some of the prison wives were trying to boycott it because we know they're making money off the family. They really are. So it was so many of the prison wives that was like, please don't use these new online systems. I know it's easier to email your loved one, but don't use them because, that's just their way of trying to monopolize. And once they get us to doing that, they're going to try to slowly take away other ways. Like now that everybody's emailing, you can't send a regular mail, a letter. That's over with. You can send it, but it's a lot harder. They cannot get the actual mail. They can't get the letter. They can't get the letter that their daughter done designed while she was in class, and she got her little markers and color pencils. Well, we could never have. You could never send like anything that had paint or nothing, or stuff like that. But I think you could send a little crayon drawings. No, not no more. He doesn't physically get that. You send it and they upload it to his tablet. So once they get you good and into this one way that makes money, the free ways are then taken away from you. Just like now, so they took that money order situation where you just paid whatever for the money order, like AmSky, you could have got a money order free, girl, and just had that little, I've been a prison wife that long since we had those little stub things where you had to make it out to the inmate trust fund and you put your little 99 cent, or if you went to AmSky, your free money order in there and dropped it in the dropped it in the mail and paid no more, paid no less than a stamp. Well, now you can't even, so they had the JPay where it was faster. At first it was just faster. and you could get him his money faster. But you could still go to Walmart and you pay far less, but he'll get his money by the next day. Well, guess what? This year, Walmart stopped taking JPay payments. So now you're forced online, and no matter what amount you send, even if it's less than $100, they charging you $10.99 or $11.99 to send that money. So if you send it $60, you're giving an extra $11 to JPay. How convenient. And then JPay had the emails. And now all of a sudden, I got some more paint on this painting. I'm finna wrap this up, girl, before I mess his whole painting up, and his whole painting be going to bed. But now JPay, what is that? Yeah, I think I'm not gonna be able to do this right here no more. Or I'm gonna have to put a little tarp or something right there. But now JPay doesn't have the emails in Florida. I don't know what states. I think they just going back and forth. Like, who can get this deal with the prisons? Who can get that deal? Why are you banking off of these broken homes? We need to be trying to figure out how to fix the homes, how to keep the fathers in the houses with their daughters and sons, so their sons ain't running all crazy and committing all these crimes because they done been raised by mothers that can't even be present because they got to always be working 2 and 3 jobs to, make ends meet. But, so now, JPay don't even have the emails here in Florida. It is now Securus again. So Securus left the phone situation. GTL won that, so they come back, and now Securus got the emails. And I still ain't figured out how to send emails through Securus. So it's a big way to make money. It's a big way to make money off the family. These prisons are benefiting big time, and not even just the communication. This tablet situation, them having movies and entertainment. Oops, I keep moving it the wrong way. Them having movies and entertainment, that's very costly to the family. They gotta send that. The food, they serve food that just ain't. A lot of it even says not for human consumption. But I know people don't care because these are subhumans, because they shouldn't have did what they did, girl. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. All of that. But, yeah, so the food, way overpriced. Not nutritional at all. People coming out of prison with all types of kidney problems and I don't know, it's just the whole money thing. It's a money grab. And that's why nobody cares to fix the actual problems, because to fix the problems would be stopping their money, girl. We ain't trying to stop the money. Like they say, don't stop the music, don't stop the money. Don't stop the money. Ooh, don't stop the money. Can't stop the money. Fixing some of these homes. My home being together hurts your pockets. My husband coming home, you no longer making money off of him being there wrongfully. Right? And you ain't getting the money from me by trying to stay in contact with him. So they support more of the business over. What was that B.O.B. stood for? I used to like that rapper B.O.B. Business over BS. They sure want the business over family. So it would have been B.O.F. Business over family. See, rehabilitation would fix the family. But rehabilitation would come as less money DOC bringing in less money and the effects of DOC having less money, monetary value. Because if my husband at home, I could just talk to him. I don't have to pay you to talk to him. That's why you benefit more off him being in that cell. All right, guys. So I done altered my father and mother's painting. Like, I don't know how much, but I'm just trying to finish this one for money. So I'm gonna clean up. It's getting late. I will go live again later. I don't know when, because I gotta work on Miss Prince's first birthday, her decorations, Miss Gracie's corner. Wish Marcello could have been here for that, but that's another milestone he's going to miss wrongfully. And he also, don't forget, is about to miss our daughter's college graduation. Marcello was 20, and our daughter was only 9 months when this whole nightmare began. And it ain't ended yet. Look like we only halfway through the nightmare, because I'm not gaining the support, or like Pop said, the momentum. I'm not getting the momentum, getting my momentum up. So looking like he gonna do that time the rest of the time, which I think is about 17 more years. Yeah, 2039. How many years is that from now? He gives out, I believe, April of 2039. Y'all, I watched Life yesterday. That movie made me cry. I know it's funny, but it's just so sad. I was thinking about drawing some of the, there was a few little scenes. It's so sad. Them men went in there as young men, or middle-aged men. Didn't come out till they was almost 90. They actually in the movie did longer than Marcello. They did 40 plus years. And I mean, all that was on their mind was getting out, being free. And what was so crazy, you know how the guy that was getting out, the one that played Juana Man, he was getting out, but he didn't want to get out because he didn't want to go back to his family the way he was. And he was like, do you know how many people would just kill for this opportunity to get out, and you getting out and you're not happy? And the guy was like pretending he was happy. He was actually institutionalized, right? Which is that's sad. People being there that long. Like, if you put a person in a cage long enough, they're gonna be an animal. They're gonna turn into an animal. Some, not all, but a lot. But all they thought day in and day out about was being free and living their own lives. And it was so funny that people that did commit crimes were getting out before them. People that actually aren't guilty of their crimes were getting out before them, and they never had a shot to get out. It made me think about Marcello. He done seen so many people come and go. People done did way worse things than what Marcello is accused of. People that did lighter or bigger things, or people that outed people. They done did their time and went on. Marcello's still there, just rotting in that prison. And it looks like nobody but myself cares. Nobody but me. Earlier, how Shantia Deja was talking about these prisons, these mental prisons, that puts me in a mental prison. Unfortunately, I'm just being honest with you. I know the politically correct thing to say would have been, not to mention that, but I'm going to be truthful. It put me in a prison, a mental prison of this vicious cycle of steady fighting for him, but never, he's never obtaining his freedom. He's never coming home to us. But I'm just steady fighting, steady fighting. It feels like I can't stop fighting. I don't want to fight no more. I'm being honest with y'all. I don't even want to fight no more. I know there's no justice in the land. I know there's no, relief coming. So I really just want to stop this purposeless battle. But it's something in me that can't let go. Y'all heard that, what is it, Anthony Hamilton? I can't let go. Yes, I can't let go. But I painted in some. Y'all see the black now, looking more black and not ashy. So I hope this piece will be done soon, because I know y'all tired of looking at it, girl. I'm tired of painting on it, because I do got that ADHD. Well, girl, I can't focus on this too long. I'm tired of seeing the same old poster picture. So I want to be done with that and working on something new. But thank you anyways for rolling with your girl. I seen a couple people pop in and y'all pop out with the quickness, but thank you so much for stopping by. Anybody on the replay, I'll catch y'all later. Check me out through, I'm trying to do more videos by uploading, but girl, y'all know I lost my phone, so the live is the only thing that's really working for me now, because it takes too long to upload a video and people are not willing to let me hold their phone. Like, girl, do you ever let nobody hold your phone like that? Like that long? Like, girl, make your call and run me my phone back, girl. Run me my phone. So I'm doing the best I can. All right, guys. It's your girl Cadillac.